So let's get going. A few housekeeping items. Today's session is being recorded and it will be emailed to you if you're registered. All of you are on mute. That's why the chat box is open. It's a special training. Normally they're under 30 minutes. Some of you are new, you don't know that, but I'm just saying that for the people that are on every single week that we will be running over today. My name, for those of you that don't know, is Maria Bearcat, and this is my business. I'm a trainer and a consultant, and I focus on your customer's journey, what they experience, how they find you, and how they advocate for you, because that's the big goal at the end of the rainbow for all of us. And the millennial market is a huge market, so this is a really critical part of that training process that I do. Today's agenda, we're going to start off with what's changed. We're going to talk about who the millennials are. I have some great statistics that, will open up your eyes. We're going to talk about the importance of moms, because moms always in every generation are critical in the consumer realm, but especially in the millennials, it's a little bit different. We're going to talk about content, and we're going to talk about making connections with millennials and how that's going to help you to grow your business. We're going to try to keep this under. So we're going to start with change. You have to change. This is part of the problem that I face in working with businesses every day. They've been around for a long time. They achieved a lot of success, and now things are changing. And so business is up and down and up and down. And for some people it's down and it's not going up, and they don't understand why. And the reason why is that we are not changing with the times. So it's important that you press pause, so to speak, and you sort of look at what the changes are and then take them for what they are to help you to grow your business. So what's changed? So change is hard, but irrelevance is harder. And this is part of a problem that I see every single day, no matter if I'm working with a school, I'm working with a dentist or a retailer. When they don't change, they become irrelevant in the marketplace. And that translates to lack of sales. And maybe your old customers are keeping you in business, but if you want to grow, you have to change. And I've found that the best way to do that is to just sort of be curious, to really look at what I'm going to show you today with a sense that it's not good or bad or bitter or sweet, but that it is the way things are. And that if you're curious on how to implement these things, it will happen much faster. And that's really true. So the first thing that changed, the innovations have changed. They made our life so much easier, right? So we're really happy about that. Technology is what we associate as the innovations, all the great innovations. The problem is it's still changing. So this is what it was, then it became this, now it's something completely different, and it's moving. 18 months ago, my business looked one way, and now as a marketing trainer, wow, like yesterday, Facebook changed things. So things move fast, and technology is part of that. Mobile technology is critical. I love this picture because it started really big and then it went really small and then it's really big again. And it's just always going to change, but it's not going to go away. It is not going to remove itself from the importance that it has in every single business. How we research things has changed. So for anyone over 40 on the call, you remember this. You had to go to the library. I remember graduating from college and wanting to send letters to companies, and I had to go to the library because they had the big books and hopefully they were current, right? We don't do things that way anymore. Younger people do not go into the library. Why? Because they Google. Everything in our life is in here. The library is on our phone. So understanding how we search and what we search for can really impact how people find you. It's important. The yellow pages, shockingly in 2018, almost 2019, right? People are still advertising in the yellow pages. I actually had one thrown on my stoop last week. I don't know who looks at them anymore. So this is not the way things have changed, and just going to yp.com is not helping you. YouTube, that isn't a change that's very powerful for businesses. And it's where we are educating ourselves. I mean, there are people that learn complete new careers through YouTube videos, and I direct clients to YouTube all the time because what you need is there. Maybe you need to be there. The cultural shifts have really presented a lot of problems. And I love this picture because tattoos to me sort of signify the biggest change in our culture. Being someone over 40, I recognize that. So, but everyone is part of this cultural shift. So you could be going in for minor surgery and your doctor could have tattoos. Your nephew can have tattoos. It's not something to judge. It's just an acceptance that things are different and things change for different reasons. Families have changed. And I think for those of you that are educators and run school programs, you got this years ago. But for most businesses, we don't understand that all this controversy one way or the other. It is a reality of what is here. The notion of family is different today. The core of it is not different, but the notion of it is. And that affects your marketing and how you market your business. We live in a small world. And now all the things that were once just in National Geographic books are part of our everyday life, not because these are people that live in my community, but because they're on the news. They're part of me. I know I get recipes from different restaurants around the world, and we are exposed to so many different things. We're becoming richer as a society, and that's part of what it is when you look at Main Street. Main Street is suffering very much. And it's not Amazon that's hurting them. It's themselves. Because we don't live in this box anymore. We live in a global world. We have different ways of marketing. And there are different ways to reach people than what it used to be. So we need to understand that. And I love this picture because, again, my children don't know what this is, but they do know that I used to say, hang up. And one day my son said to me, what does that mean? He didn't understand what it meant because we don't hang up anymore. We disconnect. And your language and what you perceive as part of your business is related to this. Is this what you're saying to your customers? Is this what you're saying to your employees? Is this how you view your business? Are you living in a time that doesn't exist anymore? This may have been a better time for you, but it's not the current time that we live in. So we need to embrace that. And I start that because millennials are a powerful generation. And the mathematics of it, kind of shift. So I wrote 1981 to 2000. Sometimes it's, 86 to 96, and, they shift it around. But basically, it's a core demographic of people. I think we all understand what it is. Some of them are older and some of them are younger. And then there's a younger generation coming in. But millennials are a powerful generation. And I have some key statistics here to just kind of give you an idea of why this is relevant to you. Millennials make up 25% of our current U.S. population. All right. So that's a lot. They make up 21% of discretionary purchases. So discretionary is different than I need shoes to go to work. Discretionary are just things that they buy, right? Which is estimated to be over $1 trillion in direct buying power. And most importantly, they have a huge influence on older generations. And I think if you're older and you're around millennials, maybe as children or grandchildren, you will know that they do influence you. My dad in his 80s was using an iPhone on Facebook because it was the only way he could communicate with his grandchildren and his children. So it's a strong power and a lot of dollars attached. 53% of millennial households already have children, right? So I think I read it was 1 in 4 are parents. So this is an incredible market, and we're going to talk specifically about women and moms. Almost 50% of millennials would be more willing to make a purchase from a company if their purchase supported a cause. This we're going to talk about a lot today because this is the core foundation of the generation itself. 37% of millennials say they're willing to purchase a product or service to support a cause they believe in, even if it means that they will pay more. So this is a critical number, and this is from 2016. We are now in 2018, and I believe that it's more into the 40% at this point in time. And along with millennials is coming other generations. We are focused on what it is we need to do for our community. 46% of millennials reported having 200 plus Facebook friends. So if you know any millennials, excuse me, I have a feather in my throat. You know that not a lot of the younger ones are on Facebook, but they are getting on Facebook because Facebook is still our neighborhood. Whether we want it or not, whether we agree with what's happening or not, it's where we connect. It's where older people connect. It's where they can connect with their families. You can use that. Millennials are content creators. What does that mean? They like to take their own photos and write their own stuff. They want to write reviews. They love that. It's part of who they are as a person, as a personal brand. It's something that's important to them. And this is critical for you to understand because they do it themselves and they expect you to do it as well. And if you have employees who are in the millennial generation, understand that this is what they want to do. So you can utilize them to help you in your business. Useful is the new cool. Millennials value brands that enhance their life, and it's not just technology. Actually, a lot of millennials in the younger portion of the generation are sort of pushing aside technology and having downtime from it. And that's a really good thing. But it also lets you know that what is it that enhances people's lives, and are you a part of that process? And you can enhance their lives. 80% of millennials want to be entertained. They want you to entertain them. They want to have a good time, right? We're used to videos and all this kind of stuff, and this is what they expect. They also want to participate in the creation or co-creation of products and brands. And this is not just for employers, although it's a very important statistic for employers to note. It's for businesses. Are you asking your customers, do they like what you have? Do they like what your store looks like? Are they happy with what's going on? It's very important. And then again, 70% feel a responsibility to share feedback. So this is all part of the way they view the world. It's that global view. This aspect can work for you or against you. So they're going to leave reviews about you, whether you want them to do it or not. You do want them to do it. You do want to control that process. You do want to be proactive in it. But understand that it is just part of what they do, and they have a lot of reasons for doing it. So there's a business gap with millennials, and it's fueled by technology, but it is not exclusively technology. It is a lot of the things that we started with. It's the changes. It's looking at them. They look different. They act different. They're not the same. They come into the store and they don't look at me. This is all part of a digital economy, and it's all part of the changes that we have. And so you need to understand that. So let's kind of look more at the broad definitions, and I say that with a grain of salt because every generation has broad descriptions and not everyone fits into this box. But these are generally accepted demographics. So they're eternal optimists. They're progressive and optimistic in their future. Despite political stuff that's going on or their personal life, they generally as a generation feel positive that they are going to succeed in their life and they're going to do it in their own terms. And that's important. They're also control freaks. We created them that way. They want to conduct research. They want to make decisions on their own. This is not a generation that's going to go to you first. They want to go with the way that they know, which is digital, to get the information that they need. They're also very open-minded, which means that, yeah, maybe they're loyal to you and to your shop or your business, but they're willing to try new things. They're much more willing to try new things than prior generations. This can work for you, and it can also work against you in case someone else is more savvy and they're taking them away. They're also very social. So the social networks are how they live and breathe. This is critical in their decision-making process. They use each other. They live in a collective world, in a collective digital community, and they need that feedback back and forth to make decisions, especially major decisions. And they're very hungry for educational information. And this is true of a lot of prior generations too, but in the millennials, they want this information in the form of reviews, expert opinions, educational articles. They're looking for this. And if we've learned anything about the whole news process in the last year and a half, it's that we don't really care where we get our news, as long as it's part of our value systems and where it is. So I won't make a judgment on that, but it is a door opened to you to be a part of that educational information. The other thing is that millennials are a generation that's accepted differences. And this is a very positive thing for really almost every business. And that's because their view of the world isn't boxed in. They didn't grow up with the yellow pages. So they know about things way beyond the reach. If they need something and it's in Santa Monica, California, they don't have a problem reaching out to do that, whereas prior generations didn't do that before. They're also diverse. They live in diverse communities and they are a part of digitally diverse communities. So maybe your town is not so diverse, but the community that most millennials live in is very diverse. And so it's just part of that process. So here's what we know. They get their news from 65% from TV and 59% from the internet. I actually think they're kind of crossed. TV is more or less, TV is actually through the internet. So the number is kind of skewed a little bit. The point is they're not reading newspapers. They're not reading the little great pamphlets, mom community pamphlets that are at the library. Maybe they pick them up, but I doubt seriously if they're looking at them, because the last thing they do before they go to bed is they look at their phone. So if what your information is, if it's on these networks, it better translate to a digital source. They want clearly structured paths. What does this mean? It means if you're hiring them, they want to know exactly what's expected of them. They want to know exactly what they need to do every single day. And if they're buying from you, they want to know how to buy, where to buy, what to do, how to put it together, how does it look and feel. They are looking for paths. Now, they're not looking for things set in stone, but they do want to have instructions. They also prefer feedback, right? So as an employee, they want feedback from their employers. They want things to be fair. They view things as fair and unfair. They want recognition, and they want peer learning experiences. So this is a critical component, peer learning experiences. So in the workplace, they want you to train them. They want you to have collaborative moments. In a retail store, in a business, they also want to have learning experiences, and they want to be able to bring their friends with them to enjoy something that you're offering. This is a very important component to marketing to millennials. They're also great at multitasking, right? So we see them, they're listening, they're watching TV, and they're doing something on their phone, but they lack engagement. And they know it. They also know that their social relationships are suffering a little bit. So all the swiping right and swiping left of finding a date may be easy and fast and so much easier than going to a bar in the 80s. It also doesn't give them the nuances of relationships. And so they are seeking these out. So parents especially are seeking these out, and they're not doing it really for themselves. They're doing it for their children. So it's important to keep that in mind. Gender roles are not set in stone, right? So men can be a stay-at-home dad. They can shop for groceries. They want love and friendship over money and power. And maybe mom is the earning person. You can't make the judgment. You cannot assume. I have seen so many businesses, as I observe them in the store, make statements to men and women that are considered sexist by their generation. Wait a minute, are you saying that I don't work? Wait a minute, are you saying that I don't raise my own kids? These are things that is part of that cultural change and part of that cultural shift that changes the way people perceive your business. So if they're not enrolling in your program, you have to think about the words that you are using and the words that your staff is using to speak to people. Social media is how they communicate. This is their language. So if you're not learning this language, you're not going to get millennial consumers in your business. It's critical that you understand it. And I love this because it compares boomers to millennials, right? So the grandparents and many times parents to this millennial generation. So in-store experiences are more important for boomers still, but it's growing. I've been watching this number, and this isn't, again, from 2016. So it's more important. Brand image. It's not so important to baby boomers. They don't really care about your unique offerings and all this because boomers generally have picked their lane and that's where they go. But millennials aren't not that way. Price and value is the critical thing for both. There's very little difference here. Offering things that fit into their budget, and budget is the optimal word here. There's a huge difference between a millennial budget and a boomer budget because millennials will shift their budget based on the value they receive. So this means that back when people enrolled their kids in preschools and they only had a certain amount of money and they wouldn't choose one place, now they're like, but this place offers me more, so I'm going to spend more. This translates to products too. If you're offering value, they're not just going to buy the cheapest thing. That's not what is driving them as a consumer. And if you will notice, the boomers, it place a high importance on that as well, but just a little bit different. They do tend to stick to a budget, but they still want the value. So the secret to longevity of your business is quality plus care and compassion. So the care and compassion come from understanding who they are. The quality comes from you understanding the quality of your own business, right? So I've chosen 3 companies, Levi, Nike, and Apple. So across multiple generations, these companies have all hit bumps in the road, and they've all responded to become very relevant and strong. Levi's of the 3 had the most problem. So they were perceived as something dad wore. My mom's always wearing jeans. She's always wearing Levi jeans. They had a really hard time identifying with the new generation. So they immersed themselves in the culture, tough as your spirit. So they learned what it is that's valuable and important to them. They understand the marketplace. This country was not built by men in suits. So this appeals to a certain marketplace. So they're listening, they're paying attention. Nike is a product completely opposite from Levi's that changes almost every quarter. They come out with new styles, new technologies of shoes, and you would think it would be smooth sailing, but it's not really smooth sailing. So this particular ad, custom fit for girls, trouble for guys, is not something they're going to put in GQ magazine, right? We tend to read things that reflect who we are. So not many girls are reading GQ, and not many guys are perhaps in the Huffington Post, society section. You have to find your audience and you need to be there, but you also need to speak their language and understand what it is. So this could be any shoe in their product line at any price point, but the message is clear. Apple, up and down, Apple. People think of them as being the number 1 company forever. They've hit their glitches. So this is actually a YouTube video commercial that was on television, and I sort of screenshot it. What I love about it is that they have Muhammad Ali speaking. They've used him in the past. It sort of resonates with an older audience that's there, and they're talking about selfies on the iPhone X, and they're using a multi-generational approach because they're solving my problem. I want to take a nice picture of myself and I want to post it on Facebook, right? So it doesn't matter if I'm 16 or I'm 66. What matters is they're solving a problem for me. And they've really learned how to do that message very, very well. They found ways to evolve in changing times. And no matter your industry, you too have this ability to do it, product or service. It doesn't really change. So how do you attract and retain them? And this includes boomers too. Boomers, actually, the oldest boomers, which would be the grandparents, reflect a lot of the same values as millennials. You have to engage them. Social interactions have value for the reason that I said. They live in a digital world. They come home, their faces are here, this is what they're doing, but they know. They want to include their friends. They want interactions with their friends. So they're looking for that. And you as a business need to also engage that. Quality. What is your product value? What's the value to the service you're giving? What makes you different than all the 9 million other people? And you can compare yourself to Amazons of the world because uniqueness and value have value, especially to millennials. Community reinvestment. You have to find ways to care. I'm going to talk about this for the rest of this training because it's important and it's critical to understanding what it is that drives a lot of sales in the millennial generation. They want to put their money in people and in businesses that are reinvesting in the community. And they want to be educated. So both boomers and millennials want to be very well informed. This is part of their personal persona. It's part of who they are as people. They pride themselves on knowing, on being educated on products and services. And you need to be out there. And then again, care. Care about your business and your products. Care about your employees. Care about the future of your community, and then communicate this caring in your posts, in your blogs, in your articles, in your shop. At every moment, you let people know that you're passionate and that you love what you do. You're passionate and you love the people who help you to do it, and you're passionate about the community that you're in. That is a critical point for Main Street businesses, is the community, is the employees. It's really, really important. In your involvement is not optional, right? 71% of millennials would prefer and are likely to purchase from a company that supports a cause they care about. I'm going to keep talking about this because this is very critical. 76% would think more highly of a company that helps to support a cause they value, right? So maybe you don't support that cause, but 76% of them do. A lot of companies hire at 5K runs because they want employees that reflect the values that that company has. It's becoming more popular. 66% would be more likely to seek employment with a company that supports a cause they care about. So again, all of these numbers, this is actually a 2017 thing from Tom's. Tom's is a very charity-oriented company, but the statistics are the same. They worked with millennial marketing and they went across all ranges to see, and it's how Tom's has done their marketing strategy. Promoting causes that encourage action are winning with millennials, not just at Christmas. Don't just gather toys. Don't just do food drives. This is a year-long process. It needs to be part of your identity as a business. This is part of the value system that you as the owner has, as the company has. Your employees can get involved, your community can get involved, and your customers get involved. So maybe they're not coming to your website to buy something today, but they are coming to your website to see how the drive for books is going, or the drive for whatever it is that you're doing and supporting. Millennials in return will be loyal. This is what makes them loyal, because they're not likely to change their value system. So if you're supporting something, if you are really a community leader and doing something that they really value, they're going to talk about you. So maybe they don't need what you have, but they will tell other people about it. And that's the critical difference and the most important thing. So now let's talk about moms, because millennial moms are really important to the millennial generation. They're very different, but they do rule the kind of consumer world, as they always have. They're unlike any generation, and not just in the way that they look, but in the way that they focus on their children, the way that they make purchasing decisions, the way that they manage their households, and what it is that they value about their family structure. It's very different. And if you have kids or grandkids and there's arguments going on, you know that things have changed. But they spend a lot of money. Millennial moms spend in excess of $3.1 trillion in the US economy every year. Yeah, there's a boatload of diapers in there. But there's also preschools, there's books, there's products for the room, there's sheets and bedding, and all sorts of experiences if you offer services, and dental care and hair care. Every kind of product and service is mixed in here. And if you can tap into that, because they still make the majority of these decisions on where the dollars are spent, then you can grow your business. Millennial moms are connected. They have on average 3.4 social media accounts, and they spend, this is very underrated, 17.4 hours a week with their social networks. I think they're spending minimally 8 hours a day on their social networks, because this is where they're watching television. It's where they're getting their news. They're doing everything on here. They're following up on their kids. They're checking out their mom. They're trying to see what's going on. So these social networks are critical to reaching them, because they're not everywhere else. And if you want them to come into your business, you have to get somewhere on their radar. 90% of millennial moms say they typically share information, in person, online, or both. What does that mean? I buy something, I love it. I say, hey, this is like the best cup I ever got, and I'm going to share that. I'm going to take a picture of it, and I'm going to share it. I'm going to offer this information to people. I'm going to talk to people about it over coffee, and I'm going to post it online. And this is what you want them to do. Mom is an evolving role in the millennial generation. Most moms are family breadwinners. The roles shift based on the age of their children. Maybe she had a better job when the babies came, and he said, you know, I'll work part-time, or I'll take off a couple of years and go back to work, and I'll take care of the kids. This is a shifting. Many couples are not married. It's just not happening. So the wedding stuff is different. Mom does not want to be the captain. She doesn't want to be the boss like she has wanted to be in prior years. She's part of a team, and she feels part of a team. So when you talk to her, just remember to include everyone else that goes along with it, because dads are a very key player. And critical is they want to include their children in decision making. So this little infant not being included. A toddler, it's being included. Do you want to have pizza, or do you want to have this? Do you want to go here? Do you want to go there? Where do you want to go on vacation? Do you like this school, or do you not like this school? Do you want to go here and do this activity or not? They're including their children on decisions that mostly mom and dad said, nope, you're going here. You're going to this camp, you're buying this, you're wearing this shoes. Doesn't happen here. So if you're not including the children, you're missing out on the parents. And that's a big problem. Millennial moms value togetherness. This is critical. Staycations are ideal for them. They don't need to go to Europe right now. They can do it later, right? They want open spaces. They want to be able to see their children in their homes. So this is a study that was done by Caldwell Baker. They work with a lot of realtors. And I know there's a couple of realtors today, and I know that you're aware of this. They want to include their children / pets, because for some millennials, their pets are their pre-children. They want to include them in their life. They don't want to just lock them away and put them in a room somewhere. So openness. 79% of millennial parents say that their purchase decisions revolve around their kids. And this, again, I've written it twice, because this aspect is very important to how you market. Millennial moms value brands that make their life easier. And for those of you that work with me, you know how I feel about solving problems. All of us have problems. We all need solutions. This is a critical problem that millennial moms feel. We want you to make our life feel easier. They value and invest in interactivity and emotional connections with their family. right? So family nights, going out and painting, doing roller skate, doing events in your community on your main street, making it a family event brings them together. It meets their need, and they will support that community. They will come back and put their dollars to that. 1/4 of millennial moms said that they would pay $50 a month to have someone else manage their busy lives, right? Because they're busy. So maybe it's an app. Maybe she's buying 3 apps to help her do scheduling. Maybe she will choose a school program that's a little bit more money because it offers her something that she doesn't have. 1 in 5 millennial moms will pay $150 a month. They want somebody to help manage their life. They are willing to outsource it. You can find a place in that revolving world, but your message has to be clear, right? You have to let them know that what you do will help her make her life easier. And that is the point that brings you to the path to purchase. So we're going to go and look at Google now. So Google's been tracking us forever, right? They know every little thing that we do. But businesses need to focus on what Google has to say. And what Google has to say is that this digital marketplace is all about the search, right? These are their key findings. Search is mom's top online activity. It's probably all of our online activity. Google, what's near me? How is this? I have a pain in my shoulder. My child has a red nose. I saw something on the news. What does this mean? How do you spell this? All of that stuff is search, right? And Google controls that search. You need to be in that search. You need to put yourself in line to that search. You need to know how moms search. I'm looking for a program that offers ABC. I'm looking for something to put in my child's room. I'm looking for this. I'm looking for that. You need to be there on those pages. Information is gathered online 100% of the time. Now, of course, Google would say that because they're an online business, but we know that that's pretty much true. We are still using print sources for some things, but mostly we're not. Mostly we're gathering them and subscribing to them, and they sit on tables and on countertops and next to our beds, because if it's not on our phones, we're probably not looking at it. 3 out of 4 searches make a purchase online or offline as a result of that search. This is a critical number because when people say to me, people find me, but they're not buying. So that indicates another problem. Maybe there's a glitch in your website. Maybe they don't understand your products, but mostly it draws people to you. They connect with you in some way. How you complete that process is different. It's not closing the sale as they walk in the store. Closing the sale can be your shopping cart. It can be the information you're offering. Maybe you don't have any frequently asked questions. Maybe your website is slow. So knowing that we want to buy when we reach out to you, if we don't, there's a critical reason for that. And social media comes in second when it comes to information. Now, they do use it as confirmation. So if I've discovered you and maybe I walked by, maybe I found you on a search, I'm going to verify who you are by your social media. And if you don't have it, you're going to be outdated and old school. And that's not a category you want to be in. Online ads outperform traditional. It impacts decisions based in digital media. So if you're running ads in the local paper and you're not getting the results that you want, there's probably a reason for it. So those demographics that they give you may not be as powerful. And trust me, they're 10 times more expensive. You can run ads at $5 a day and grow your audience, grow the people who like your pages. It's much better to outperform. Video. 1 in 3 moms watch online videos as much or more than TV. Dads too. Millennial dads love YouTube. It teaches them how to diaper, braid hair, brush teeth, do all sorts of things. You need to be teaching people something. You need to be doing video. Digital is an effective across the entire path. So this is all about that buyer's journey. Them finding you, becoming aware the process that they decide to purchase, and then what they do afterwards, which is a critical part of digital marketing because you want your customers to talk about you. That's what we do. So what drives that search, right? Well, how do you know what to do? Well, that's called content. There's your strategy. This is the marketing strategy that many businesses, especially long-standing businesses, don't understand. You have to connect with millennials through content, right? That content comes from that journey. So let me just outline what that is. So awareness of the journey is, I have a problem, my tooth hurts, I need a dentist, right? So now I start researching, I make a decision, do I want to go to this person or this person? Then I go there and I experience it, and now I have to leave a review because millennials leave reviews, right? So if I leave you a good review, I make people aware of you in a good way, and then I'm going to buy. If I leave a bad review, it's going to make people aware of you as well, and it's going to keep them away. So this process isn't going to change. It is the way that it is. What changes is all of this stuff. These are types of content. These are things that people read. They're reading your ads. They're reading your blogs. They're reading reviews. They're reading articles that you write and articles that other people write. They're going to your website. Website content is content, right? They're going to post things. They're going to show things. This is how you attract, because content builds trust. All of these people frantically searching, they're looking to trust you. In the old days, it was a handshake, or it was, my dad told me to come here and he said to talk to Lou, right? Those days, they're not here anymore. Now we go in and we say, this Yelper said this. I'm going to put this on. Most of the places, I've moved a lot. Most of the places that I use, I go to reviews. And I will trust someone I've never met than someone who sits right next to me in an office. Because this is where we are all finding trust, not just millennials. What types of content do they trust? So this is where you've got to think about it. So over half, 51% of consumers, this is all consumers, trust user-generated content to inform them. Millennials, this is much higher. I think it's about 80%. What is user-generated content? These are blogs, which are written by people, posts, which are written by people, and reviews, which are written by people. We don't care what the Time magazine reviewer thinks. We care what the Yelper thinks. We care about reviews. We care about your blog. We want to know what you think. We want you to educate us. We want to know if you care about your products, your employees, your community. This is where the caring comes in this section. And user-generated content is more important than company website information. And I want you to look at this number, 16%. So if someone gives me a website and says, hey, Maria, go check this out. I always do. But I get my confirmation from other content because this is company content, right? I'm going to use it. It's going to push me over the trust barrier, but I'm not going to use it exclusively. So your website content might be beautiful, but if it doesn't include blogs, if you're not posting, if you're not paying attention to your reviews and not out there reviewing other things, then you're not going to get it. News articles about the company, only 14% trust level in that. So don't invest money in a PR company. Invest money in you generating your own content and getting a strategy together because it's important. So here again, millennials and boomers, 84% of that decision is played in there, a lot and some. But look at this, 70% of boomers, it's growing in importance. They are influencing us. So they're demanding it more, and so are all of us. So it's important and critical to growing your business. And if you look back at the content you've been creating over the last couple of years, it will explain why maybe the customer base is changing and down. So why is it important? 57% of the decision is made before engagement. And engagement here means maybe a phone call, maybe they email you, maybe they fill out a form, Maybe they come in for a tour. Maybe they just come in to browse. I'm almost there. I'm more than 50% decided to purchase from you. Again, what is the experience at this point, at that point of engagement? What's your shopping cart like? What's your salesperson like? What does your store look like? Is it dirty and outdated? These are the things that people look at. 82% of millennials check their phones while standing in your store, right? Why? It's not just because of price. I do it all the time. I see something and I want to know, does it work? What do other people think about it, right? The social confirmation. So if people aren't talking about you, you need to ask them to talk about you because it's very important. 93% of consumers' buying decisions are influenced by social media. This is just the way that it is. We want confirmation that other people are using you, that you are real. This is a digital world. We buy products from remote cities, from remote countries. Etsy, you can buy products from almost every country in the world. Well, I'm going to be sure to check those reviews on something I buy from India and something I buy from New Jersey. I want to know what's going on. 90% of consumers expect consistent information. And this is where a lot of companies fail. Maybe you're posting and you feel like you're blogging enough, but what is it that you're sharing? This is where your brand value and your purpose come to play. It can't just be, I have a great deal. It can't just be, here's something. It has to be more about the company, about what you value, about what you do, your charity, your community work. We want that consistency. We want to see everything the same because some people are going to find you on Twitter and some people are going to find you on Pinterest. Content is the solution. It guides the customer to their most important decision, which is to buy from you and to be loyal from you. So you need to understand that this is the solution to connecting with millennials. You give millennials what they want, right? They want user experiences. You start by asking what they like and what they don't like. When was the last time you called up a customer and said, hey, I know you read my newsletter every week, but what do you like about it and what don't you? What would you like to see? What experiences do you want to have? What are your core values? And are they present? Do all of your employees know why you do what you do? This is important. It's becoming increasingly important for all people, but it is especially critical to millennials. And if you haven't done this exercise with everyone on your team, it's hurting you. Because note, core values will attract or repel like-minded customers. So a lot of people are hesitant to put their values on a wall. A lot of things are going on in the world today, but your business core values are really important. It's not just about products and services and inventory. It's about the value that they have. So if I have taught you nothing else today, it's that millennials view the price of things in a different way. It's not just, I only make this much money, therefore this price is what it's valuable. No, this is what I value. I value information, so I'm going to spend $1,000 on a phone. Did your mom do that? Nope. I value literacy, so I'm going to put my child in a private program. I value beauty in my home, so I'm going to spend money on quality things that are going to last. You have to understand what people value. And your business needs to look and feel. How is it presented? Online and offline. What's the online experience and the offline experience? So if I come into your store and then I go online and it's like, man, this is 1970s, you have a conflict and people don't like that. Hosting events. These are focused on customer experiences, not on sales, right? Some events are definitely focused on sales. You're introducing a new product. You're offering a special price. But offering events should be a monthly thing at every single business. Every business can have some kind of an event. It can be charity related. It can be business related. It can be community related. How you get people into your business on your website is very critically important. And we're going to talk about that next week in next week's training. Here's an example, Trader Joe's. So Trader Joe's is a grocery market, and what makes them unique is that they only carry 3,000 products, right? So every grocery store carries 30,000 or more. But this place is growing when other groceries are failing. Why? Because they offer bright tropical colors. All their employees wear, Hawaiian shirts. They do events where everybody that comes in is greeted with a lei. They have in-store tasting stations. This is a permanent fixture in every one of their stores. So this woman knows that if she goes to the back, to the right, there it is. It's going to be something. Coffee, maybe it'll be carrots, whatever. We like that consistency. You're doing that for me. That's important. Employees who are completely focused on the experience. Trader Joe's has this down pat. Not only do they offer great benefits, but their employees collaborate on everything that goes on. It's important. And this is my favorite. Signs. I'm a signage freak. I have a graphic design background. Look at this. Now that's a formula for great value. Joe's O. They're putting value right in front of you in a humorous way. So I know that you're enjoying what you're doing. What kind of signs do you have in your business? What value are you bringing? The second thing millennials want is they want social responsibility. I told you I was going to talk about this a lot. What are your local causes and charities? What are near and dear to your heart? It doesn't have to be just your community. Maybe Alzheimer's is very important to you. Your grandmother had Alzheimer's. You should be talking about it. You should be collecting funds. You should be doing events for it. It doesn't matter that it's not related to your restaurant business or your dental business or your gift business. What matters is you're aligning your values with your community. And this is what's important to millennials. How can you put a spotlight on your products, on your employees, on your community? You can do all of this through social causes. You can hire people that love those causes. You can promote your community. Find something local. Maybe something needs to be renovated. Maybe there's concerts in the summer that help kids in Africa. I don't know what it can be. Everyone can do that. A great example of that is Target. So Target has had ups and downs. They are constantly reinventing themselves, but they donate millions and millions of dollars to local communities. They're focused on education. Why? Because back to school is huge for them, right? So they're giving away money in your community. So my town, they're giving money. They're not giving it to New York or New Jersey or somewhere I don't live. They're giving it right where I live. Plus, they have bright lighting. They're constantly grouping things in the store so that it's similar. So if you have all these products over here and all these products over here, no, I want to get everything at the same time, right? It's 4th of July. Not only do I get that cool shirt, I want to get this and the chair and all together. They're constantly re-merchandising their merchandise, and they're making it to the convenience of their customer, not to themselves. Third thing millennials want, they want in-store and online experiences, right? So poor lighting, number one problem. Outdated layouts, number two problem. And employees that are like, meh, right? I go to small towns all the time and I walk in, I'm like, hello, right? Can I help you? I can't see. It's not part of the ambiance unless you have a creepy Halloween store. We want to be able to see. We want signage. We want things to look bright and new. You don't have to do a $20,000 renovation, but you do need to make things look current. And we want seamless navigation. So I think that makes more sense on the website. Like I go here and I click here and I do this and I go there and everything is easily explained, right? Well, in your business, it needs to be the same way. I need to know what the next step is. I need to understand. So I did this, now what? I sent you this, what's going to happen? Remember, they want to know. They need that path. Give them the path to purchase. I'm going to show you this. You're going to like this. Now go and take a look and then buy it. That's a path to purchase. So that navigation process needs to be there. And it comes through education. You're educating them on your products. What makes them so great? Why do I need it? Why do I need to spend $20 more when I can go over here and I can get it for $20 less? Well, because our products don't have this, this, and this. And you can do this, this, and this. And it can go here, here, and here. You need to write about it. You need to give them that because you're solving customers' problems. Because, excuse me, they need to be obvious and easy. You need to give people an experience. I'm using another grocery store, Wegmans. So Wegmans is interesting because, excuse me, they're more expensive than any other market. They're very expensive, but they create an ambiance in the store. They want you to think you're at a local market. So they've designed all their stores, no matter what the size is, to appear to be in this very market, organic market kind of thing. But they also offer an active community member. They're very active online and they really encourage. So this lady, they're going to say, hey, did you sign up to our online community? This is big for them. They charge a lot of money, right? That's olive oil is at least $5 more here than anywhere else. But people of all demographics shop there. They have these great things. They're recipe stations, and they do it online and offline. So how logical is that? I'm buying food. I want to know what to do with it. Here is something. Take this home. Here is something. Download it. They're not making money on that. They're not selling me a cookbook. They're saying, here, Maria, you bought fish. Here's 19 fish recipes that you could try. Did you also get this, this, and this? It's very important. They're thinking about the customer. It's very important that you find this in your business. What can you offer people that's related to the products and services that you have? And put it on your website. Get it in your shop. Print postcards. Have flyers or brochures. This is how you hang this picture. This is how you do this. Gift wrapping. If you're a gift shop, wouldn't I want to know how not only to buy the gift from you, but I would want to know how to gift wrap it. It's important that you think about that. Number 4, they want employees to be a part of your brand. It's important to them. They are employees. They want to be treated fairly, and they want you to have employees that are fun and upbeat. They want to know that they're being a part of your business. Social media posts, 100% should come from your employees. They're the people that are there every day, boots on the ground, listening, knowing. Use them, train them. It makes them feel appreciated. It makes your customers feel appreciated too, because it's not just the big guy at the top or the marketing whiz writing a bunch of fancy stuff. It shows that you are collaborating, and collaboration is really critically important to attract new employees, but also to create content and give you a perspective of things that you may not see yourself. Maybe you're not in the business every day. Maybe you're not there. So as long as they fill your mission and your values, which hopefully are posted, then what your employees have to say is critically important in keeping them, but attracting new customers. And technology. Technology is kind of a real bone of contention. This is a generation that uses it, but it's also a generation that puts it aside more and more. I'm finding that in the younger group. You need to train your employees how to use it. So if you have a retail business, that's a certain kind of technology. If you have a school, that's a different kind of technology. If you have a dental office, just having an appointment reminder that's texted can be the difference between staying open and closing. I've seen it. I've seen it with service providers. That's my specialty. I can help a brow lady who only does brows grow her business because she adds one little piece of technology that she said, I don't know how to use that. I'm too old. No, anybody can use it. One thing can help your business. So let's look at Apple. Of course, Apple has great things. But if you take away all their bright lights and their beautiful tables and their cool signs, right, what's left is the Apple team. This is what gets people to go in there, right? Those blue shirts that they change colors. But their employees are something that you should model. First of all, they're thoroughly trained from day one until the day they leave. Apple invests in their people. They guide them on every interaction. They give them the opportunity to go to their own classes, and they will pay for them. They give them a whole list of things that they can learn, whether it's technology, whether it's sales skills, maybe it's grooming, maybe it's how to talk to people, maybe they want to be more technologically oriented. If you invest in your people, it will come back. It will show. And I'm telling you, with millennials, this is huge. They know and they're willing to pay more money to companies that treat their people better. So it's very important that you do that. So we're coming to a close. So this is how we market to millennials, and it's easy, right? You need to be where they are. You notice what they got phones in their hands and tablets, right? Not where you're comfortable. You cannot be looking outside of your shop window. You have to get in the trenches and you have to be a part of them. Be curious. Listen and observe and learn more about them. There's a lot of great books on millennials. There's so many resources that you can find, and you're welcome to contact me if you have issues with them. But it's going to help you with your hiring, and it's going to help you with the business that you have. So I want to thank you all for being here. This was a long training. Next week, we're going to talk about preparing your business for events. I'm going to go back to my under 30-minute training process. I think it's important because you can have online and offline events. This is an event. I help many businesses do their own training webinars to teach people how to use products and services. You could do that, and then it turns into a video, and then Google likes it, and then people begin to see you. So hopefully you'll do that. It's 4th of July week, but it's on the 5th. And I want to thank everyone for being here. You will get a link to this recording to listen to it. I encourage you to re-listen to it. It's a lot of data and a lot of information. I welcome your feedback, and I will send that out this week to all of you. There's a lot of new people on the call. I do these every single week. I'm so grateful to have you all here, and I really hope that this gave you insight to be curious, because for me, that's really the most important thing. So have a great week and a good 4th of July, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Thanks.